Hello everybody, my name is Bound
Starlight Flux.
and we've just got finished watching My Little Pony Season 8 Episode 17 of my... Oh yeah, I've already said the My Little Pony reaction, but yeah, you can find our reaction in the link below. And I don't know what the title of this episode is, so I'll just have to work that in post.
I think it was Friend. I think End of Friend. I think that was
End of Friend. Yeah,
yeah
it's weird because the scheduling's all like
it's all over.
So
it's all over the place. Even though we did technically watch the Australian version of it for the reaction, we're still going to release the schedules on the US schedule because we release things on the US schedule just to stop things from getting too confusing, because the Australian releases are all over the place. Like episode 20 was one of the ones we've seen. We've seen the...
We haven't seen it, but on Equestria Daily...
We've seen it. That's why I meant.
Yeah, there's an article on Equestria Daily saying there's live streams up for episode 20 in Australia, which is just like...
It's like...
Australia, mate, what are you doing? What are you doing? Dude, eh?
Well, anyway, as we were saying, we've just watched the end of episode and our reaction is below. And as for the reviews, do you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, this episode was... it was basically filler, really. Personally, I'm really hoping for Season 8 they focus most of the episodes on the Student 6 rather than the main 6, because the fact is, the main 6 have gone just about as far as I can go, and I'm pretty sure I've stayed with this, yeah. Because it just always seems to be, whenever it's a main 6 one, no matter which two they're pairing together, because that pair has already been together in multiple episodes, normally what happens is it's just reiterating another lesson that they previously learned. So
I'm not sure. I can't remember if there has been a lesson like this before, but I
feel like there has been, but I can't remember which episode. Maybe they're just all kind of. Maybe there's been a similar lesson.
I think the problem is getting to the point now where it doesn't seem like they can really improve. It sounds like they're trying to... There isn't really much room for improvement, that's what I'm saying.
Basically they're putting in the main 6 for the sake of it.
Yeah, really. They're putting the main 6 in just for the sake of putting in the main 6.
But I think they should put the Student 6 to the forefront.
Yeah, I think the Student 6, whenever we have an episode involving them, we generally do get interesting... Not entirely in the shot. Yeah, so when we get a new episode involving the main 6, we generally get some quite good episodes.
Student 6, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Student 6. But yeah...
But the thing about that is the Student 6 are kind of learning these lessons for themselves, so there's a lot of chance for growth for them. Really all the main 6 can do at this point is get essentially stronger. I mean, hell, even at this point, Spike's got some wings, you know. You know, Larson's been creeping around the office just editing the scripts. Just like, Larson!
Yeah, I think that it does seem like they are... I mean, I'm not saying that this has been done before, because I can't remember on, like, the Applejack and Rainbow Dash episode we had earlier in the season. I forget the name of the episode. I mean, either way... That one was a sort of a rehash.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like this one I can't actually pinpoint an exact episode. It's either so long ago that I don't think it actually matters, but it does highlight the point that it's getting to the point where we are...
Yeah.
You know...
I mean, it was still an alright episode. It was still an enjoyable episode to watch it. There were some funny moments in it. I did like the fact that Rarity would... I was questioning why Rarity was wearing the boots covered in glitter. Like, let me tell you something about those boots. I would literally ban someone from my house if they were walking around in shoes like that. Okay. Can you imagine if I'm walking around your house stomping bloody glitter everywhere?
I am not somebody who is over... I don't kick up a fuss if people happen to forget to take their shoes off in my flat. Right? As long as it isn't muddy, I'm not that fussed. But if there was shoes like that, I'd say, you're taking them off and you're leaving in the hallway outside of my flat. Never mind putting him in the entrance bit of my flat. Forget that.
I mean, let's also just bring up the fact that putting glitter on anything just... I don't know where Rarity gets her fashion sense from, but putting glitter
Who has glitter on fashion nowadays? I can't remember the last piece of clothing I saw with glitter on.
What next? Is Rarity going to do, like, shoes that have, like, macaroni art on them? Just like...
But I wouldn't be surprised, it is the fashion world.
Alright, kids, arts and crafts time, here's some shoes.
It is the fashion world, let's not forget, it's not the first time we've seen something stupid like that, like the Lady Gaga's like meat dress or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think that really took off as fashion though. I think that was just Lady Gaga being Lady Gaga. That'd be really screwed up if Rarity was wandering around.
Oh God, no, okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on slightly.
Actually, no, it would probably be Pinkie Pie thinking about.
Oh God, no. Let's not go down the Pinkie route.
That was a very retro reference. That was a very retro reference.
Mate, that's so retro. That's like practically 2011.
That was bleeding Cupcakes. I don't even know when that came out, but it was very early on in the Brony fandom. But yeah, wow, fashion. I don't understand it, but glitter shoes can get the fuck out my house.
But yeah.
And then they turned out to be keys, which is just that's not how keys work. You can't just shove some random long narrow piece of metal into a keyhole and expect it to unlock a door. You know?
Yeah, and I think it was a bit predictable as well, this episode. It was really predictable.
Although at this point, I think a lot of the episodes really are going to be predictable because ultimately, what's it going to be?
Unless it's the main. Well, not the main, but the Student 6, because the Student 6 episodes have surprised me.
Okay, yeah.
But the main 6 episodes don't surprise me, and I think that's what it is now. That you know them too well. That's the point I'm making. They've improved to the point where they can't really improve that much more. And
basically, with the main 6, it's like they have a falling out over something, or they have a disagreement over something, and then at the end of the episode, they make up, and that's it.
Kind of seems like a bit of a melodrama. I think even if this episode hadn't been covered before, like this sort of similar lesson, I think it's a very. It's not a very good lesson. That's what I'm basically saying. It's kind of. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel, if you know what I mean.
Well,
when it comes to lessons, when it comes to the main 6.
The lesson itself, I guess, was that even if, like, as friends, you don't have much in common, it's kind of the challenges that you face together that kind of makes your friendship what it is. And that's not in and of itself a bad lesson. I just think it's one that has probably been taught before. The thing I can't
remember it, to be fair.
The thing I do like is that, you know, in the early seasons, like 1, 2, I think a bit of 3 as well, it was Twilight, you know, writing her lessons to the princess to kind of say what she'd learned, and it was pretty much rubbing it in your face what the lesson of this was.
Yeah.
Whereas with the newer seasons, it's kind of left up to your interpretation what the moral that you're meant to take away from it is.
I suppose there is that.
Which is interesting.
I mean, with the Student 6, we're probably going to get more of that sort of thing again. I mean, we're going to try and do that with Starlight, and it's quite obvious that when they tried to do it with Starlight, it kind of didn't work. So that's why they've started doing it with the main 6. Well, not main 6, the Student 6. I don't know why I gave the main 6.
Starlight is doing better now that she's actually got a role outside of, oh, you're not evil anymore, let's get you in an episode. Now she's actually got like a role as a student counsellor. She's a more focused character. They can actually go, okay, she can do student counsellor stuff. She wasn't even student counselling. This was like teaching. Yeah, she was just counselling in general, which is student and teacher counsellor, I guess now. But yeah, it's good to see that Starlight has actually got somewhat of a more focused character now. And yeah, and talking over it, I think, to be honest, the episode really wasn't that bad. Like, the lesson behind it was pretty solid, and while the episode itself was, I mean, I'd say the episode was was an okay watch. There wasn't any particularly like super funny moments, but the character moments were okay. The lesson that was taken away from it was pretty okay. To be honest, I'd give that a pretty. I'd give that a pretty solid. I'd give that an 8. I'd give that an 8, to be honest. I think that was much better than last week's episode. I think it had a decent lesson behind it when you really drill into what the lesson is.
Yeah.
And while it didn't have quite as much comedy factor as I think the previous week's episode. Was it the previous week's or was it?
No, it's the Discord one you were referring to about the
really cynical one, the one with that really cynical comment about the teaching like this,
oh god, yeah.
I want this executive car slot at my own office and just like do you know what the education system is, Discord? That was one of my favourite jokes of season 8. Genuinely, that was one of my favourite jokes so far of season 8. And I know it's just like a really small, just one-line thing. But
it's the sort of thing that kids won't realise until later on.
It's a very meta reference kind of thing. It's something that adults will get and they'll laugh at that, and kids won't really get it. But it's just one of the signs that the writers still know how to kind of pander to an audience. But you know that's a different. That's a different episode entirely. Overall, my score is 8, basically.
My score, I'd say... Yeah, okay, I'd say 8. I would say 8 because there hasn't been anything really wrong with the episode. It's got a decent lesson behind it. There was a few funny moments there. But, yeah, I mean, compared to the previous week's episode, where there was definitely a problem where we could see potential and it wasn't taken anywhere. With this, we can't really see any additional potential with the episode where they could take it. So I think I'd agree. 8. I know it's not very exciting for us to have an agreeable score with one another, but we've already discussed it, and the score's really just to give us a way of figuring out talking out the episode. Really, to be fair.
Yeah, but. Yeah, basically that was it. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, give it a comment, watch the reaction, all that kind of thing, and hopefully you'll join us for next week's episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Just a general reminder as well, if you're into the anime stuff as well, we are releasing episodes of Boku no Hero Academia straight from the beginning of the series, beginning of series 1, and we're releasing those on Wednesdays. With, I believe this week we're actually coming up to the finale of season 1, so that would be episode 12 and 13. I'm actually thinking of uploading those both at around the same time so that you can watch both of those at once. So if you do want to watch some Hero Academia with us, I encourage you to check that series out. And we're also digging into some more anime stuff as well, like Steins Gate, Sword Art Online, season 3 and things like that. So stay tuned if you do like anime. Keep watching the My Little Pony stuff if you do like My Little Pony. Don't worry, that My Little Pony stuff isn't going to be stopped by the anime stuff. It's not going
away, it's just stuff to see us over through the hiatus, because the hiatus doesn't... We want to avoid a situation where we disappear for months on end and then reappear when a new hiatus comes along.
Essentially, our account gets a bit stagnant during the hiatuses of My Little Pony, so the anime stuff is a way of really introducing it. Plus, it helps introduce us to shows that either we haven't seen before, or we just... well, for example, I'd never seen Hero Academia before we started watching it.
Yeah, so
we've not watched Steins Gate before, but it's about time travel.
I will say now, I would highly recommend going and watching the reactions to those, because they are good. Because Hero Academia, I can't fault it. I really can't.
Yeah, there've been some really... We've had some genuinely...
Anyway, this is getting sidetracked.
Watch our other videos, please.
Please watch our other videos.
Please watch our other videos.
We need new views because of this new system.
Hit the subscribe button, and yeah, hopefully you'll keep enjoying the content that we put out. But apart from that, my name is Skybound.
Starlight Flux.
And we'll see you next week on My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, or if you're watching the anime stuff, we'll see you on Wednesday for the next episode of Hero Academia. Goodbye.
Bye.